Right, so I'm gonna take this time to go over some basics for beginners as well, so they will learn while looking at the chart and try to work on their own. Okay, because to be honest, I was like that before, traded stock without any knowledge, and I lost a lot of money. After a couple years, I decided to stop trading, and I actually focus on fundamental. I study from, I forgot, someone back in 2009 or 2010, and then slowly gaining some knowledge. And you know what? After 15 years, okay, I mean, I learned along the way, but after 15 years, I found that it's easier and simpler just to use the trend line for support, resistance, and looking back at the previous high or low. And that way, you can actually predict pretty accurately. If you watch my video before, you will notice that sometimes, even though I guess wrong, but on the opposite side where the stock move, it's actually hit my other limit or target because of just the fundamental. All right, so let's go along and then let's learn together and make each other better in predicting stock movement. All right, so HCA, before, usually I would look at the stock about 2 to 3 years to see what is the mean price. So the mean price for HCA probably about 300. So now 341, which is, a little bit high, but not that high, compared to the past couple years. It's about average. Now we're focusing on the mid-term and short-term. I will take, in choosing the point where you draw a line, is that the line will go through as many pivot points as possible. For example, if I start from here and go here, I have only 2 points. If I use here, you can see it's almost taking 3 points and then closer to this point as well. So I would skip this one as a pass through. All right. So now we have the support trend line of the midterm. Next, I would choose the next high to here. Okay, which is not bad. Or I can select here as well. But I think the best is to select this because it's go through many more pivot points. Okay, so now we got the trend. So midterm, we have the stock going up. That means when I switch to weekly, which is for me is more mid-term than a long term, we will see it's a little bit overbought, right? Now for short term, which is daily, we can see its daily is oversold. And if we take about a couple months, we can see it's been going down, right? So, do we use this point, mid range, or do we use the short term? It usually depends. All right. So if for short term, I would say this right here, and we'll change the color to blue. So this is the high. For the low, I will select here and then go down maybe here. So I can actually use this low as well. All right. So we got mid term and we got short term. Okay. So which one do you want to use? To me, I can use both, or I can use the short term as well. But usually the midterm have more weight than the short term. Just a little bit, right? More. Short term is also important when we see the trend change. So now we have this, it looked like the trend. Okay, so midterm has been going up, and now look like it's starting to go lower for the past couple months, almost 3 months now. So I will take out the mid-term, but let's focusing on the short term. All right, so short term, what do we have here? We got the stock from here, bounce up, and then come down, bounce. Here it just during one day, come down and close back up a little bit in the mid channel, and then keep going, hit, and then coming back down, pulling back right now. So what's next? Short term oversold, long term is still a little bit overbought, right? So if that's the case, I would say there's more chance of it bouncing up when it's like this oversold a little bit. But the midterm or long term is a little bit overbought, not too much. The earning need to be decent and pretty good to bounce. Otherwise, if earning is weak, outlook is negative, it will coming down. So for pullback more, I would say about 55%. A bounce, I will say 45. So now for a bounce, where is the next point that I'm going to pick? So I'm saying probably around this area or the low. Let me see. Actually, I will pick here. Okay. So no, actually I will have it a little bit more. Why? I choose the top of this, and if I draw a line, you can see it go over here, touching these. This is the top of these candle, and this is top of this candle as well. Go over here more, and then another top. So for top of the range, it will be at 369. So I round it up. All right, so 40%. of a bounce. 55% of a pullback. Now I'm looking at the last low. I can pick here, but it's not that much of a low. I'd rather pick this one or even this one. If I pick this one and then look back, you can see over here it has more to cross, like a touch of the peak, right? Or the bottom. So that is a good place to call it a support. So the last low and then going across backward, and we see a lot of pivot point, which is a good level. Now we need to check. So it's about 315. Okay. Now pretty much I am done. But usually I will look back to see what else. If I remember the low, if I select this low and this here, you can see the low here and the low here kind of cross about here. So it might have a little bit more to come down, and then maybe we'll bounce. So that is why I say it's about 45% of a bounce. If it's up here, I would say a pullback will have about 60 to 65%. So that is the reason why. So there you go, folks. That's how I do all my prediction. Pretty easy. The only hard part is to look at the chart and use which one that you think will be most probable. Okay? All right.